Most men are focused on proving themselves. They try to convince a woman of their value by pointing to external things, their career, their status, their car, their physique. They're trying to show her why they are impressive. But here's the paradox. The more you try to prove your worth, the less attractive you become. Why? Because true confidence is silent. It doesn't need to announce itself. When you say, "I bet most guys don't make you feel," you're not bragging about yourself at all. You're not telling her what you have, what you've achieved, or what you deserve. Instead, you're turning the spotlight back on her experience. And this is powerful because at the deepest level, people are self-focused. Everyone is living inside their own mind. And the man who can tap into that inner world, who can make her feel emotion she hasn't felt in years, or maybe has never felt before, that man is unforgettable. The psychology behind this phrase. This works because of something psychologists call emotional association. When she's with you and she experiences a powerful emotion, safety, freedom, passion, excitement, her brain doesn't just say, "This man made me feel this way." Instead, her brain begins to link you with that emotion itself. In other words, you don't just make her feel safe, you become safety. You don't just make her feel alive, you become life itself in her eyes. You don't just make her feel valued, you become value. That's why most compliments fail. A man says, "You're beautiful." Fine. She feels flattered for 3 seconds. Then what? It fades. But when you use this phrase, "I bet most guys don't make you feel," you're not flattering, you're anchoring, you're planting yourself in her emotions in a way that lingers far longer. Examples of how to use it. Let's imagine you're on a date. You've been talking for an hour, she's laughing, opening up, letting her guard down. Instead of saying, "You're so fun to talk to," you lean in slightly, lower your tone and say, "I bet most guys don't make you feel like you can just be yourself." What happens? Her smile changes, her body shifts. You've gone beyond small talk and hit a nerve that no generic compliment could ever touch. Or picture this. You're walking together at night. The world is quiet, the city lights glow, and there's a moment of silence. You look at her and say, "I bet most guys don't make you feel truly safe." That's not just a line, that's a feeling. And in that pause, in that space, her mind connects dots you don't even have to spell out. Or here's another. She's telling you about her past, about men who didn't value her, about the games they played. You don't need to criticize those men. You don't need to compare yourself. Instead, you simply say, "I bet most guys don't make you feel really seen." Like they notice the little things. And that's it. You've said a dozen words, but you've opened a door that her mind will walk through again and again, even when you're not around. The Stoic element. Now, let's bring in a Stoic layer, because this is Stoic wisdom. The Stoics taught that human beings are driven not by events themselves, but by the meanings and emotions they attach to them. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you interpret it that matters." When you say, "I bet most guys don't make you feel," you're guiding her interpretation of the present moment. You're not controlling her. You're simply shaping the way she experiences herself in your presence. And because Stoicism is about mastery of self, you're showing that you don't need to chase or beg for her attention. You create it naturally, through words that stir the soul. Why this works, better than any compliment about looks. Here's the harsh truth. Looks are temporary currency. If a woman is attractive, she's been hearing compliments about her beauty since she was a teenager. They blur together, they lose their impact. But feelings? Feelings are rare. Most men never touch the emotional core of a woman. They stay on the surface, hoping their status, their possessions, or their appearance will be enough. But you go deeper. You show her that attraction isn't about what's seen, it's about what's felt. That's why this phrase works so powerfully. It's not about saying the right words, it's about creating the right experience. You're different. This might be the simplest phrase of all three, but don't be fooled. Simplicity, when paired with timing and sincerity, can be more powerful than the most elaborate speech. Why? Because every woman, no matter how confident, no matter how outwardly secure, carries within her a quiet fear, the fear of being ordinary. Think about it. The world constantly tells women they are replaceable. Social media is full of flawless pictures. Dating apps create an endless scroll of options. Even in day-to-day life, women are compared by peers, by strangers, sometimes even by themselves. And underneath the smiles, beneath the surface, that question lingers. Am I really special, or am I just another face in the crowd? This is where your words cut through the noise. When you look her in the eyes and say, "You're different," you're doing more than giving her a compliment. You're answering one of her deepest unspoken fears. You're telling her, "No, you're not ordinary, you stand out. You're unforgettable." And that is something she will replay in her mind long after you're gone. Why this phrase works. It works because of a psychological principle known as uniqueness validation. Human beings have a basic need to feel significant, to know that their existence holds unique value. Most people fear blending into the background, becoming just another name, another face, another memory. So when you tell a woman you're different, you're not just flattering her, you're validating her sense of uniqueness. You are telling her that she matters in a way no one else does. And here's the secret. It's not about being different in the way she looks. It's not even about being different in terms of skills or talents. What truly resonates is when she feels different in the way she makes you feel. That is the deeper layer most men miss. When you say you're different and stop there, it risks sounding hollow. But when you follow it with a genuine, specific reason, something that goes beyond the surface, that's when the phrase becomes unforgettable. How to make you're different. Hit deeply. Let's imagine a scenario. You're sitting with her at a cafe. The conversation has flowed for hours, and she shared stories from her life, the good, the bad, the personal. Most men might respond with more stories of their own, trying to impress her or outdo her. But you lean back, smile softly, and say, "You know what? You're different." You actually listen when people talk. Most people just wait for their turn to speak, but you're present. That's rare. In that moment, you've elevated her above the ordinary. You've told her something she doesn't hear every day. Or picture this, you're walking together, and she does something small but revealing. Maybe she stops to help someone, or she notices a detail no one else noticed. You turn to her and say, "You're different." Most people wouldn't even notice something like that, but you do. And that says a lot about you. Do you see the difference? You're not praising her appearance, which dozens of men already do. You're recognizing her essence. You're noticing the qualities that separate her from the crowd. And that is magnetic, the Stoic connection. Now let's connect this to Stoicism. The Stoics taught us that true value lies not in possessions or status, but in virtue, in the qualities of character that stand the test of time. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The true worth of a man is measured by the objects he pursues." In other words, we are defined by the values we embody. When you say you're different in the right way, you're not appealing to shallow validation. You're acknowledging the virtues you see in her, the kindness, the depth, the presence, the authenticity. You're telling her, "I see you not just as another person, but as someone whose spirit carries qualities that are rare." That is why this phrase has Stoic power. It shifts the focus away from external beauty and onto inner essence. And inner essence is what truly lasts. The emotional impact. Let's break down what happens inside her when you use this phrase authentically. She feels noticed, not for her looks, not for what she's wearing, but for her deeper self. She feels chosen. If she's different, that means you've compared her, consciously or subconsciously, to others, and she stood out. She feels special, and this is the most powerful emotion. When someone feels truly special, they attach that feeling to the person who gave it to them. And just like in section 2, emotional association comes into play. She doesn't just hear you're different, she feels it. And soon, when she thinks of you, she thinks of that feeling. The feeling of being rare, unique, irreplaceable. Examples of using this phrase, naturally. When she tells you about her goals, you're different. Most people talk about what they want, but you're actually working toward it. When she shares something vulnerable, you're different. It's not easy to open up like that. Most people hide, but you're honest. That's rare. When she shows her playful side, you're different. You don't just take life so seriously all the time. You actually know how to enjoy it. The beauty of this phrase is its versatility. It can be used in light moments, in deep moments, in romantic moments, and every time it strikes the same chord. I see you. I value what makes you rare. The hidden risk and how to avoid it now. There's a danger here. If you use this phrase without meaning it, if you throw it out casually like a pickup line, it will backfire. She'll sense the insincerity immediately. Remember, women are intuitive. They can feel when words are hollow. So the key is authenticity. You must actually notice what makes her different. You must actually value it. Otherwise, it's just noise. This is why self-mastery matters. The more grounded you are in yourself, the more you live by Stoic principles of truth, presence, and virtue, the more natural your compliments become. You won't need to force them. You'll simply see what others miss, and when you express it, she'll feel the truth in your voice. Why you're different completes the trilogy. Let's zoom out for a moment. The first phrase, I don't need you, but I want you, sets the tone of independence. It says, I am whole without you, but I choose you anyway. That creates magnetism. The second phrase, I bet most guys don't make you feel, shifts the focus to her inner world. It shows that you are not like other men because you see beyond the surface. And the third phrase, you're different, seals the deal. It positions her not just as someone attractive, but as someone unforgettable, someone who holds a unique place in your eyes. Together, these three phrases create an unshakable foundation of attraction: independence, emotional depth, and uniqueness. This is the psychology of attraction. This is Stoic wisdom applied to relationships. And this is how you go from being a man she forgets to being the man she fantasizes about.